Do we have my colleague Parkwesi Parker Wilson? If we do, Parkwesi, if you can hear me, so I've already announced this. You are in Okaikoi South, and I hear some members or executives are threatening to halt the entire process as far as the constituency elections are concerned. What can you tell us from there? What is happening now? All right, so we'll reconnect with Parkwesi Parker Wilson, but he is there, and quite some interesting scenes panning out, like we've seen in some other constituencies in the country. Well, Parkwesi Parker Wilson will join us shortly. There is some news trickling in that we'll have to share with you there. Parkwesi, so I know you can... Yeah. What is the latest that you can report as far as this incident is concerned? You are in the Okaikoi South constituency. What is happening there?
Some misunderstanding between the delegates within the constituency. In fact, as I speak to you, the divisional commander has ordered his men to shove the delegates away. The delegates have blocked the premises for which the election will be conducted. The police is saying that they will open the gate and ensure the elections are conducted. The delegates, however, are threatening that they will not let that happen because over 430 names have been deleted from the register. And as a matter of fact, if that is not rectified, they will stop or block the conduct of this election, which has been created for today. And so the police has given them a warning, asking each delegate to conform, and if they have issues, they can equally go to the court and resolve it and annul the election. But for today, come what may, the election will be conducted. And these are the words of the divisional commander who has instructed his men to ensure that there is peace and order here at the Prince of Peace, Bubuashi, where the elections are expected to be held. And I don't know if I can get a word from the divisional commander, Mr.
Right. So we have shots of you now.
But I'll try and engage him and understand what is happening. But for the delegates, they are not happy with the current situation, and they are asking the police to hold on the election.
Okay.
And all the right now as we speak.
Right.
One of the delegates is having some confrontation with the police.
So we have visuals. We have visuals of you now, and we can see that delegate in question, Parker. But do tell me, how do they come by this information that 430 of them do not have their names on the register? Is it on the back of yesterday's event and the album that was made available to them? I mean, how do they come by that information? Hello, Parker, can you hear me?
Yeah, Ben, I can hear you.
So I was asking, and now we have live visuals of you. We can see that gentleman you were speaking of. But the question is, how do they come by the information that 430 of their names had been axed from the register? Is it on the back of the album provided to them yesterday?
Yes, Ben, according to the delegates, they checked the album. The MC and the MP for the area promised them that all the old delegates, names of the old delegates, will be captured in the album, which is the register.
The MC and the MP for the area promised them that all the old delegates, names of the old delegates, will be captured in the album, which is the register that will be used for the conduct of the election. And when the album came, that was yesterday, they realized that 430 names of the old delegates have been replaced with new ones. And that is where the controversy is. They are making the point that that wasn't the assurance. The only thing that they said was that if you've passed on and equally you are not around, then your name will be taken off the album or the register. But if you are here within the constituency well and alive, your name will be captured. But it's unfortunate that 430 names, in fact, some of them are alleging that the names that have been replaced are persons who are NDC members and not NPP members. This woman here is a delegate, and she's been alleging that her name has been taken off the register. But about your friend saying?
Me patch friend me Rose Budu. Me too about Okaikoi South. Me polling station Prince of Peace. My year Juma constituency, I'm fear bebre almost 20 years. Me di wa abom no mo. Na be 2 months no. And on back say you maintain no fi region ba mo ka say you maintain all delegates nyina. E me yet asie. Afa de by last 2 weeks. Almost say omo yiye de tete so omo yiye de film.
But when we say you would de film.
If me de Rose Budu ye me de film. Album me de many kware album and run no 8 p.m. Omo enja album no ma yentem. E wo de omo ye ento omo enja album no ma yentem. Me de many ko sua ko hu say ye me de film. Mempene
den na be won pene den na be.
Me nya hwe asomdwe na ewe. Onfa ye din mrem. Na sumdwe mra so new ones be so person de kan wa enam dodo ene kwan ensai ma bre wo constituency ya papa ma bre wo party mu papa me mpre ma da ko me yimi din film eno de anya djuma da ko ba constituency o ka yeti bubom o ka yeti bubom ma sumdwe ma.
Right, Madam, thank you very much. So this woman is alleging that, of course, the MC and then the MP are the ones perhaps deleting the names of old delegates. Now, what you see here is some misunderstanding between some of the delegates and the police officers. I mean, at my far left here is where the elections will be held. You can see the gate is locked, and the gate that is locked is not locked by the authorities of the school, that is Prince of Peace, but rather delegates of this constituency, all in the name of the fact that their names are not on the register. So until their names are captured in the register, the gates would be open for the successful conduct of the election. Until that is done, they will not allow any election to proceed. But the woman has been saying that she's been working in this constituency for quite some time now. There was an assurance that her name will be captured as at yesterday 8 p.m. She herself checked the list on the register, or the names in the register, and she realized that her name has been taken off, has been removed from the register. So it is not a hearsay. She has personally ascertained whether or not her name was in the register, and when she checked, she can verify and clearly indicate to all of us that her name was not captured. But in the old register, or in the old album, her name is there. So that this new album that will be used for the conduct of the election, her name is not captured in, and that is a major source of worry to her and to some of the other delegates who have gathered here. So as you can see, the police officers are stationed here. They're not allowing any delegate to cross their barrier to get into the premises, and the delegates themselves are saying that they will ensure that this election will be blocked. But the divisional commander has given a strong warning that any individual who is a delegate or a member of the party who perhaps misbehave will definitely face the full rigors of the law. He has served notice that he won't entertain any kind of miscreant behavior or misconduct by any individual here, and so that is where we are at the moment. We are yet to ascertain whether this election will proceed or not. But the delegates are clear in their minds that this election will not go on. The police on the other side are equally clear in their minds that the party said today, Thursday, will be the conduct of the election, and this election will definitely go on. So this is the current situation here at the Okaikoi South constituency in the Greater Accra region.
Parker, do hold for us. Do keep it rolling. We shall pick the feed. But let me come to my guests now on what is transpiring there. Interesting, isn't it? Because we're also talking about political participation and how we go about our politics generally, right from the grassroots and the sort of practices that we see. And here is what we are met with, even at a party level. I'll start with you again, Dr. Kwapo. Your quick reaction to this as we fold up on the conversation.
So one of the things that I am not clear in my mind is the report was talking about old delegates and new delegates and assurances given that old delegates would appear in the new album. So is it because there's an expiry term of office for old delegates, but some way, somehow they were going to be part of this? Or was this supposed to be a process for we now have new delegates and therefore it's the new delegates that are supposed to vote in these constituencies. That was what was not very clear in my mind. But overall, I mean, it's nice to see political participation and citizens having, a deep interest in local elections, whether it's even within the party structure system. But sometimes I get a little concerned when these passions begin to rise to the point where you need law enforcement to actually step in to bring calm. I often wonder what is at stake to the point where we individuals get so riled up about an election at the constituency level and whether they get to participate or not. But again, what is not clear in my mind is, are the new delegates that are supposed to, why was the assurance given to old delegates? Is this because their term had expired, but somehow they were going to be incorporated into a new, or do they still retain their voting rights to, in the constituencies? Let me put that
question to Parker. Parker, I know you can hear me, so do clarify for us why the situation, the old delegates, new delegates. What was the real agreement? Can you share with us? Hello, Parker. All right. We'll try to get that clarity from Parker. He's not available just yet. But when we get him, I'll be sure to put that question to him about the old and new delegates and what exactly. Okay, so Parker, I see you now. A question was posed by Dr. Kwapong concerning the old and new delegates and why there seems to be a problem. What exactly is the explanation that you can give?
Is that the police is currently breaking the gate. Right, so Ben, the delegates, they have an expiration date, and we are told that Ben, I'll come to that, but the police has opened the gates. As you can see the gate is now fully opened, and this will pave way for the conduct of the election. The divisional commander is here. This is the man who is in charge of this election, and I'm hoping to get a quick word from him. He's on phone, and I'll do that shortly after he's done. But with the delegates, we'd understand that they have expiration dates. Their term of office has expired. But however, there was an assurance that because they've performed, these are the words of delegates, that because they've performed and served the party well in the last 4 years, their names will be kept in the register for them to participate in this election. Of course, some of them sought re-election, they won, others lost. And so that is what the discrepancies are, that the assurance that their names are going to be captured there and equally partake in this particular exercise this morning. And so they're surprised and shocked that their names have been taken off. That wasn't the assurance, that wasn't the promise given them. So this is where they have an issue, that the MCE, the MP for the area and the chairman for the election committee supervising the conduct of this election gave them the assurance that their names will be captured. And unfortunately, as of last night 8 p.m. when they checked the register, their names were not there. So that is the source of controversy and disagreement with some of the delegate. But I'm hoping to engage the divisional commander briefly, Mr. Fachi Kumi, and say thank you very much for your time. You are live on Joy News. I saw your reaction with the delegate. Basically, what has been the major problem for you this morning as far as this election is concerned, sir?
They are raising issues of the election coming on Saturday and not today, and that some people's name have been removed from the register. And then they went on to also say that they've taken the matter to court and there is injunction. And what I was trying to tell them is that if they have injunction and they go ahead, the party goes ahead to conduct the election, they have every right to go and cite the party for contempt. If some people's name have been removed from the register as they are alleged, that is also a basis for them to go to court and, channel their grievances. At the end of the day, we are not expecting them to be physical or obstruct anybody who is coming to cast his or her vote. And the police, as the police, we are here to maintain law and order, period.
But I've heard some of them saying that this election will not come on. Whether you're here or not, they will block this election because their names have been taken off.
We are here, as I said, to maintain law and order. And therefore, if anybody thinks he is too big, we are here. We'll see who is big, and at the end of the day, who will be able to maintain law and order so far as this election is concerned.
So, Mr. Kumi, finally for me, are we clear in our minds that the constituency election for Okaikoi South today will be conducted?
We've not heard anything from the EC that the election is not coming. What we have from the EC is that the election is coming. The EC and the party, that the election is coming. So we owe it a duty to maintain law and order for the election to go on smoothly.
Thank you very much. Please forgive me, your rank is
ACP.
Right, so that is ACP Fachi Kumi. He's the Deputy Commander for this area, that's the Okaikoi South constituency. And now we finally also gain access to the premises where the election...
Parker, if you can hear me, I also want to find out, are there any EC officials there yet? Have you seen any of them show up there yet?
Well, for now, I've not seen any EC official yet. I was told that they were around, but because of the misunderstanding, they had to go and wait somewhere for the police and the delegate to resolve the issues. And so now that the issues, according to the police, has been resolved, it has given the EC green light to come and set up here at the compound of the school for this election to proceed. And Ben, you heard the police clearly that any individual, in fact, they are here to maintain law and order. And that any individual who perhaps might want to misbehave, the police obviously will do their work. So this is where the election will be held. We are expecting the Electoral Commission to come and then set up, and then when they are done, the election will be conducted for constituents or delegates of Okaikoi South constituency.
Thank you so much, Parker, but do still stay with us. We'll be picking your feed. But let me come to you, Dr. Kwapong. So you've heard what Parker said. There was some sort of agreement. It appears that agreement was not complied with as far as the old and new delegates are concerned. And now that has led to the situation that we are seeing at this point. Any quick reactions before I bring in Prof?
Yeah, but why would you make such an agreement, right? If the rule says it's current delegates, meaning delegates whose terms of office have not expired, are the ones supposed to vote in a constituency election, and that if some of the old delegates have expired terms of office and some of them did, successfully get elected again to serve as delegates, then why circumvent the rules by making a verbal assurance that old or new delegates, everybody will be brought in to... See, these are some of the things that causes some of these confusions, right? That if the rule is what the rule is, then why give an assurance to an old delegate whose term has expired that, don't worry, we'll put your name on the register and you'll be allowed to participate in a constituency election? That really baffles my mind.
Prof, what does this mean for our politics, especially at the grassroots? It appears even there we still have a lot of questions to answer. Professor Etia, if you're with me, I was just asking what this bodes for our politics, what you've seen and heard happening in Okaikoi South, as it raises a lot of questions about our politics, just as the latest report suggests.
It certainly does, and I think Dr. Kwapong has said it all. For me, my question is about how do they appoint or elect the delegates or choose the delegate? It looks like there is it's not by way of election. They just pick people. And if that is the case, what is the criteria? Because I heard the woman saying they have 12 for the party for so many years, and so she deserves to be in the album for her to vote. And probably the same sentiment may be expressed by the others. And so how do they choose these delegates? I think it's critical, because if the rules are clear and they are transparent, and the process is also transparent, it wouldn't lead to such things. So there's something amiss that probably we don't know, and which is fomenting this trouble. And it doesn't seem to be at Okaikoi alone. We saw what also happened during the previous one. I think, I remember, but there was a previous election for a lower level of
yes, the delegates, also, right? The polling station, level.
Polling station.
Yeah.
The polling station, yeah. There are also a number of issues around that. So it seems there is something not going right with the organization of such elections.
Right. So in just about a minute, your summary comments as we wrap the conversation on all that we've been discussing. Prof and Dr. Kwapo, maybe 30 seconds each so we can move on. Prof, I'll start with you.
Yes, I think we have to admit that all is not rosy. There is still work to be done. We have done some good job, but more needs to be done. And we don't need to feel complacent and go back to a level that is lower than where we are. Overall, the report is damning, and it reflects what we have already said, and therefore government needs to take it very seriously. So that next time we'll have a better report.
Thank you, Professor Etia. We are so grateful that you joined the conversation. Dr. Kwapong, your 30-second bite.
Same sentiments as Prof. There's still work to be done. I hope that all of these reports, whenever they come out, that we will pay close attention to the signals that it's being sent to us in terms of the work that we need to continuously do to strengthen our democracy.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining the conversation. Dr. Kwapong, of course, CDD Fellow on Democracy and Development, and of course, Professor Etia, who is with the University of Ghana School of Law. But joining the conversation now as we wrap here, especially on the back of what we've seen in Okaikoi South, we have Evans Nimako, Director of Research with the NPP. Mr. Nimako, a very good morning to you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning to you. We saw problems when your polling station elections were held. We've moved a step further to the constituency level, and more problems pouring in. You can cite Domiko Abenya and all that has happened. But we're in Okaikoi South currently, and there's quite a situation there. Old delegates, new delegates, assurances given, and it's not looking good. The doors to, or the gate to the school where the voting is to take place had to be forced open by the police. Why are we seeing all of this?
Well, thank you very much. They are not confusing anyway. NPP is a law-abiding party, and all those whose actions are in the opposite will be dealt with by the police. We have structures in place getting work done. We've moved on from the polling station to electoral area, now at the constituency level. You mentioned Domiko Abenya. Some members in Domiko Abenya went to court, and the court dismissed the application and directed them to go back to the party. Definitely, some people who feel that some may take the law into their own hands, but they should be ready to deal with the police. Nobody can take the law into his or her own hands. We are set today, some constituencies are conducting their annual delegate conference, upon which elections will be conducted by the Electoral Commission. But please, if people are aggrieved for whatsoever reason, they cannot disrupt programs and arrangements put in place by the party. People who are concerned must come before the party and not to take the law into their own hands. I'm not at Okaikoi South at the moment. The chair of the committee of Okaikoi South is Reverend Frank Daly, who is also the chair of our Legal and Constitutional Committee.
Right.
Such an experienced leading party member will not sit for anybody to flout the party's rules and regulations. So please, and please, the report of the nation doesn't pose to me that delegates and elect officers for the party. I beg to differ.
Right. We're grateful. We're grateful for your time, and we'll see how that matter resolves at the end of the day. But Evans Nimakot, the Director of Research with the NPP, on what is happening in Okaikoi South. Obviously, some disgruntled members of the party saying that they will not allow the elections to take place. But as it stands now, the police has, opened the center. The electoral officials or the EC officials are nowhere to be found currently. But as was reported by my colleague, Parkwesi Parker Wilson, as and when they are available, we'll get them there, and we'll see how that pans out. But this is what we can serve you this morning on the AM show. My name is Benjamin Akako. Thank you for watching.